Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville season 6, episode 6, I believe it is. So let's get to it, shall we? I'm in a mood today, but we're gonna get through it. How was you guys' Mother's Day? Mine was beautiful. I had a great day yesterday. We always have a good time on the holidays when the family is able to just get together and slow down enough to sit down and break bread and enjoy each other. So that's what we did. It was a nice day. Couldn't believe Monday got back so quick. I was gonna do this video yesterday, but I hadn't even seen the show yet, and we had a lot of stuff to do and early reservations, and we wanted to go bar hopping and stuff. So I didn't have time, and I just wanted to have a stress-free day yesterday. But that means that when you put off your stress for one day, you know what happens. It just comes on the next day. So now today I've got 2 videos that I've got to do. I had to watch both of the shows, do 2 videos, get them edited. I'm at least going to try to get this up. I have a book club meeting this evening at 7 o'clock. I haven't even finished reading to the point where we're supposed to be discussing the book, so I have to get that done. And currently it's 1:15, so I've got a lot of things to do today and not a lot of time to get it done in. So just not in the best mood, but we're gonna make it do what it do. All right. I know you guys like, why is she always starting videos telling us she ain't in? I just want you guys to know, because when I'm not in a great mood, that makes me not want to do my voices. So we'll just have to see how this goes. Anyway, we see Mel. Mel goes to check on Tiffany because she said after the heated spa day that they all had together, she just needs to make sure that her girl is okay. You guys know that Tiffany is good and pregnant. She actually looks very uncomfortable. You know how some people look very glowy and happy and all of that. Tiffany looks probably the exact opposite. That's terrible to say about somebody that's being blessed with a new baby, but I mean, it really does look like her voice even sounds different. I was like, she just sounds miserable, you guys, but maybe that's just what it looks like, and that's not what the case is. Anyway, Mel said, yeah, all that cussing and fussing that they was doing at that spa day, the F-bombs, the B-bombs, she could have done without that. And Tiffany was like, yeah, she knows, that's not the best way to represent themselves on this here platform. So yeah, we all could afford to do better. So how do we fix this? Well, Mel says, I got a great idea, girl. Gonna have a tea party. Gonna have this woman, Miss Carol, out of Atlanta. She's gonna come and just kind of give us some etiquette, teach us how to be. We're gonna be real cute dresses, cute hats. We're gonna have all that. You guys, hold on. This is Blue's doctor. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, you guys. My cycle must be on its way. It's gotta be, because I am super emotional for really no reason. It's nothing that's happened that I need to be feeling like this. So this is probably what's coming. But anyway, Miss Carol out of Atlanta, she gonna come and teach the girls how to be civil with each other. And Tiffany was like, okay, well, good, because the last time that they all got together, yeah, her pressure was up for sure. Okay, she's just hoping that everybody comes with the same open mind that, I guess Tiffany is going to make sure that she has when she comes. She's upset with herself, though, that she allowed Kiki to bring her down. It was just like, you are the one that came in there all on the rah-rah. You the one that confronted Kiki, because Kiki didn't have anything to say to or about you. What are you talking about? She brought you down to her. If you wouldn't have said anything, then it wouldn't have been no levels to get to in the first damn place. But anyway, enough of that. What else has been going on? Okay, well, Mel had the birthday party for her daughter. And you guys know all the drama that happened there. Tiffany was like, did Martell come? And she was just like, yeah, uninvited. And it got so bad, of course, that, they got to arguing there. She was really trying not to go there. But yeah, he showed up making a scene saying he wanted to be there for his daughter and all of that. On their way there, though, the daughter had spoken to him. And Mel got on the phone with him and told him that he was not invited. So he knew clearly that he was not invited, that this was an event that she was giving, you know, for her daughter, and he could do the same for himself. So that's, and hang on, fuck. I'm sorry, you guys, everybody keeps calling me. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying that Martell showed up at the birthday party because Mel hung up on him. I think that was probably the main reason. His blood pressure probably was running high. He probably was like, I know the fuck this bitch did not just hang up on me. And that's probably why he showed up there. You guys, if you've ever dealt with somebody that has like an extreme ego, such as Martell, of course he's not gonna let somebody hanging up on him get away from him. But how about this? Mel says after the party, she was telling her daughter, you know, come on, let's call your dad so that we can, you know, because he wanted to come pick you up after the party. And they call him, and he said that he's going to pick her up on Monday, which I'm assuming this was Mel's weekend, so Monday would start his week. So he was sticking to the original plan that they had already, you know. And Mel was just like, yeah, that's the whole thing. His ass is manipulative. He showed up there acting a fool, trying to make Mel look bad because she wouldn't let the father, not that he's not the father, but you guys know what I mean. Like, but they're divorced. There is a child support plan in place, and that's what you guys stick to. Mel has no obligation to do any of the stuff that Martell is asking her to do. She's not acting irrationally or anything. Okay, so she was saying, yeah, she's just upset with herself for having a baby with a man that's so manipulative, you know, that she wishes she would have been with a man instead of a queen, okay, such as Martell. But hey, hindsight is 20/20. But anyways, girl, come on down to the tea. You're gonna be able to bring a +1, you know, so that way everybody can have somebody that they're comfortable with there. And Tiffany was just like, oh, in this group, a +1 means backup. I was like, well, she ain't never lied on that one. That is true. Now let's jump on over to Stormy. So Stormy is going to meet with her Reiki person. You guys know that I am not, I don't know much about this kind of thing. This is not necessarily my thing. So, you know, the whole Reiki, chakras, yeah, just Roxanne is just, that's just not something that I dabble in. But I know that many of you guys do. So, yeah, she's invited Kiki. I was like, Kiki looked like she might be worse than me, okay? But Stormy thought that maybe this would be a good icebreaker between the two of them because, you know, they may have gotten off on a bad start. So she has her Reiki, do they call them Reiki masters? I couldn't read it because you guys know I'm watching on my phone. But I think the girl's name was Tunjanika. She says that she is a child of God who's able to basically spot negative energy in people. Okay. And, when Kiki first got there, I felt like Kiki, you know, she already told us she didn't really know what to expect in this thing, that this is not her bag. So, you know, she's just kind of there, but she's still trying to figure this whole thing out. So yeah, Miss Tunjanika, she's opening up about herself. Like I said, she's a child of God and all of that. And Kiki was like, now how do we know that all of this stuff is a part of, you know, what God would want? Well, because she's this child, girl. Was you listening? Kiki want to make sure this ain't blasphemous. And she was just like, oh, no, absolutely not. You know, when you believe in God, all kind of magical things can happen. And Kiki was just like, oh, magical, like she have magical powers? Like I could just be like, pow! I was just like, now, Kiki, you not being serious about this. Okay? And I thought Stormy was going to say something because you can tell. Now, last season, I thought maybe Stormy was putting on, but I actually believe that Stormy is really into this kind of thing. Because when Tunjanika decided to clear her chakras and run the... I'm just talking, you guys. You know, she had her crystal and she was running it around her body. And you know, just withdrawing, I guess, all the bad energy and just making sure that they have like a clean palette so that they can get the things done that they came here to do today. And Stormy loves this so much, you know, that she even gets emotional because it just means so much to her. So, you know, it's good when you can find something that gives you peace. So anyway, as Tanganyika is running the crystal, you know, over Kiki just to make sure, and she's talking about, you know, words having so much weight, and you know, having to be able to watch what you say. And Kiki says, well, that she can definitely agree on. Says she does try, though. She says anytime she's around people, she tries to uplift them, motivate them, energize them, you know, give them good advice. She tries to be that positive person. It just doesn't always happen. So after she finishes, you know, she asks them, how do they feel? Well, they both feel pretty good. Okay, so Tanganyika leaves and allows them to just sit and talk. And this is when Kiki and Stormy, well, they decide that maybe they got off to a bad start. Kiki says, you know what? The reason why she couldn't even get with Stormy and argue her down like she wanted to cuss out Tiffany that day anyway was because she actually can see some of herself in Stormy. They're actually a lot alike in certain ways, okay? And Stormy was like, oh, really? Like, well, they don't call you ghetto. And Kiki was like, girl, don't even worry yourself about that. They gonna talk anyway, which is true. You're gonna be on a reality show, especially this one. They gonna talk. It don't matter if you are the most likable person on there. Somebody out there can't stand your ass. Anyway, Kiki is still concerned about this situation with Tiffany. And, you know, she is going to get with Tiffany as soon as she gets a chance. And she hopes that she's able to control herself. And Stormy was like, you're going to be able to because she's pregnant. Okay. And Kiki was like, well, people that's pregnant shouldn't be talking the way that she talked. I was just like, that sounded like Kiki was just like, bitch can get it pregnant or not. Okay. Which is something we know we don't want to see. And you talking about, I don't care how much people don't like Tiffany. If you laid a finger on that pregnant woman, honey, you would be very unliked. So keep that in mind, Kiki. Control yourself around Tiffany. I know Tiffany can bring out the worst in people, but don't go there. Stormy was just like, oh, no, Tiffany better stop arguing with Kiki, though, because then her baby gonna come out looking like Kiki. You know, that's what they said. Yeah, that's an old wives' tale. Okay, wouldn't that be something? Child, we would have to have a conversation with Courtney then, wouldn't we? Now, let's jump over to Maurice and Kimmy. So they are at home, and Kimmy is cooking. I was trying to remember if she was cooking or washing the dishes. Kimmy is cooking, and Maurice is just sitting there talking to her, and they're talking about disciplining Monster. Now, Monster is 15, about to be 16 years old. You guys know, if you have children, if you have boys especially, if you have a teenage boy, very especially, then you already know how challenging it can be. I mean, you know, even if they're not bad kids, you know, I mean, he's a fucking teen. Kids don't listen. You know, you have always got to be there to reinforce it. Or else it's going to be a problem, you know, but that's just a part of parenting. That's just a part of the whole deal. Now, Maurice and Kimmy are bumping heads because Kimmy feels like she tells Monster what to do. He doesn't do it. And then she just kind of backs off. Maurice feels like she doesn't have any follow through. Kimmy feels like, well, that's not my child. Okay. So that means that when I tell him to do something, then he don't do it. I need you to come in and, you know, back me up and be like, no, you need to do that. And Maurice doesn't understand why he needs to do that. Maurice is like, hell, I got my own set of problems with Monster, but you guys' problems are not separate. Monster is one child in this one house with his set of parents. Even though Kimmy is a step right now, we're, you know, with the situation that we're talking about, you guys are all one family. So that means that your problems with Monster is Kimmy's and vice versa. And of course, the fact that Kimmy is not the father, I mean, not the mother, then why doesn't he understand that? I mean, because even if Mr. and I didn't make it, I wouldn't want my kids to be disciplined by the new person to a certain extent. Like, of course, they're in your house, they have to follow your rules and all of that. You're definitely not going to be able to touch them. And I think that if Maurice would have put himself in Kimmy's shoes, he would have understood, because you telling Kimmy that you're okay with her disciplining Monster, are you going to feel the same way when Kiowa's new husband is disciplining Monster? I'm talking about past the regular, these are the rules of my house, this is what you need to do. Like, are you going to be okay with this man hitting your child possibly? You know? Even though he's 15, they ought to be out of that age where we ain't got to be hitting on them and shit no more. You know, after a while, you get past a certain stage, it's no longer discipline. Now you just fighting them, you know? So they get to a certain age, you shouldn't even have to do that. But what I'm saying is, like, if it did come to that, would you want that man doing that? I don't think so. You know? It almost felt like Maurice was like, I got my own problems with him. I don't feel like fucking with y'all and y'all problems. You deal with your problem with Monster. Let me deal with it. And Kimmy was like, that's no. So he calls Kiowa, and then he put Kimmy on the spot telling her that she needs to tell. Kimmy was like, I didn't even tell you to call her. What do you want me to say to her? So then Kimmy does enlighten Kiowa and tells her, you know, about what happened, the conversation that they had. And Kiowa was like, oh yeah, no, I understand. Like, yeah, I understand she can discipline him. However, like, she should be concerned about how I feel about how she disciplines my child. It's not her child. Okay. So Kiowa understands where Kimmy is coming from. Maurice doesn't agree with neither one of them. And he was just like, okay, well, she's just going to stay neutral. And Kimmy was like, no, she's not being neutral. She is telling you exactly what I said. Okay. And bottom line is, Maurice, is your child. And it's a boy. Can you just step it up a little bit more, child? That's the bottom line. You need to deal with your child, okay? Help Kimmy out a little bit. Shit, Kimmy just getting back to feeling better. Now, later on, Maurice sees Martell. Martell comes by the house. No, Martell comes by the office that they're renovating, that Maurice and Kimmy are going to share. One will be upstairs, one will be downstairs. So what's going on? You know, Martell says, well, everything is getting a little better. You know, him and his kids are great. Him and Mel, not so much. Really? Why? Well, for example, Mel had a skate party for the oldest daughter the other day, and Martell wanted to be there, so he came, and they got into it, and Mel, you know, started fussing at him and saying that she was going to call the police, and Maurice was like, call the police? Like, what happened before that to get it to that point? Oh. You know, Martell doesn't give him the full story, which I've realized that that's something that Martell doesn't do. Okay, he don't never give the full story. He don't give the story that makes him look better. So he was just like, no, I mean, we exchanged a few words, and no, you guys was screaming. Well, at least you were. It did get very heated in that damn little vestibule or whatever you want to call it. You know, Martell, tell him the truth. You was acting a fool. That's why she said she was gonna call police. We don't just call police on people that's being real nice. So, you know, Maurice, he's telling Martell he's been through divorce. You guys have kind of tried to figure out a way to make it back to each other, make it back home. Not saying that you guys need to be together, but like, how do we move forward? Well, I mean, that's been the talk for the last 3 seasons. How does Martell and Melody move forward? I mean, if you would have asked me by now, maybe there is no moving forward. It's something that Martell has to accept. And that's probably what the problem is. Martell hasn't even accepted that him and Mel not together, and he don't have that kind of say in her life no more. So Martell was just like, yeah, we got a long road. Okay, the youngest just turned 3. So you got at least 15 more years that you got to be dealing, and probably longer than that. How's Maurice and Kimmy doing? Maurice was like, Kimmy is doing great. You know, he can start seeing her spirit starting to come back. Okay. And so then he starts telling him about, you know, him and Kimmy and how they're trying to be on the same page, and, you know, them raising Monster. How is Monster? Well, you know, he's having some challenges with Monster. And, you know, he don't understand why Monster act the way that he do, because if he had the life that Monster had when he was younger, you know, Monster don't even know how good he got it. You know, well, Martell tells him, you know, when you spoiled, that's what happens. You probably end up worse if you were spoiled, you know, when you were younger with the setup of your household that you had back then. Okay. But Martell understands, you know, Martell was just like, hell, I was bad at that age. Now, I don't think Monster is bad. At least they haven't made it seem like he is. You know, he's a typical teen. But Martell was like, no, he was bad, in and out of, you know, trouble, alternative schools. And Maurice was like, well, what turned it for you? And he was just like, sports and ROTC. Two things that are very, very, very structured. Two things that if you are passionate about, you know, that will kind of keep you on the straight and narrow, because in order to be involved in those organizations, then you have to have your grades. You know, you have to at least be passing, you know, and I guess that was enough to get Martell focused enough that he needs to, you know, that he needed to at least pass to play. So, you know, sports and ROTC was the best thing that happened to him. But then Martell says that he also was self-motivated. You know, like when he goes to work out, he's motivated to do that. You know, that's not just something that comes natural. So I guess in this case, the bright spot that we can take for this conversation is that it is extracurricular is good in schools. Okay. And academia is not just the important thing. You know, some kids are just not going to be regular college students, high school students that just love they need to have a trade, or they need to have something that they can focus on that keeps them motivated to do what they want to do. And sometimes that comes in the extracurriculars. That comes in those classes that you take, where you take shop or art, graphic art, or, you know, design or photography, or, you know, there's these other things that can make a child be more focused on what they need to do. So a Monster gonna be fine. Monster gonna be fine. Now this tea, you guys. Mel says that, you know, they're all Black business owners, and so she feels like they need to have this tea so that they can be shown how to responsibly speak to each other, you know, without being disrespectful. It's just gotten to a point where everybody just say whatever the hell they feel like saying, and then it just goes off the rails. You know, she said Tiffany was so mad at that spa night, and it didn't even seem like she was as mad as everybody was making it seem, but apparently Tiffany had been acted the fool so bad. Mel was like, I thought her ass was gonna go into labor. So anyway, before everybody comes, you know, Mel and Miss Carol, they you know, just dot the I's, cross the T's of how this night is going to go, you know, what Miss Carol's role is going to be, what Mel is needed to do since she's hosting. Okay, and then the girls start to get there. Kimmy's first. Kimmy said, damn it, I'm back. I am back, and I am here early. Okay, and then Letitia shows up, and then Tiffany, and then Kiki. Tisha was happy to see that the ladies have all come. You know, she said that it shows that everybody is trying to move forward. I will say that I am glad that it seems like Mel and Letitia are playing nice. Okay, and it does look like, at least for the show's sake anyway, that these two are trying to really, because the last season and all the shit that was said between the two of them, this is great progress considering what happened last season. So anyway, then once everybody gets there, the plus ones, some of their friends come separate or whatever, so I don't really know whose friend is whose, but there's 2 seats left. You know, Miss Carol was just like, okay, there's 2 people left, and Mel was just like, no, it's just one. She was just expecting Stormy, but it turns out that Stormy and her mother show. Okay, and Stormy come telling us in the confessional that her mother has had some problems with Mel, and I was just like, Stormy, why would you bring your mother to something like this when you know that your mom, first of all, Stormy, I'm sure, knows her mother better than anybody. You know your mom is outspoken. Apparently, you guys tell me that the mom be all on social media talking and having a whole lot to say about Mel, so you already know what your mom is capable of and what she most likely is going to say at this tea where we're all supposed to be learning to be respectful to each other. So how's this going to work? I was just like, this is such a bad idea, Stormy. If you want people to, because Stormy from real life, and just this past week I was watching one of Scotty's videos, and apparently somebody showed up at her warehouse and upset her, a YouTuber I believe, and you know, Stormy was just saying, she started crying and saying how, you know, people got this show twisted and it don't make no sense, you know, and that people talk about her all day on social media and everything. And I was thinking to myself, with these kind of things that you're doing, I understand that everybody needs to have their story said on the show, but bringing your mother, especially when she is less like Vanessa and more like Miss Wanda, such a bad idea. I mean, and if you want people to like you, your mom is so not going to help you. We need to know that when a person acts a certain way, there are certain environments that they just don't need to be in. They come in, they sit down, and Nell, you know, Chris Fletcher's wife, she says that she can just feel that there's tension in the room, okay? and that maybe the ladies need to try to figure that out. What tension do you feel? She says, well, I feel there's some tension between Stormy and Mel. Mel is just like, I don't know why she feels tension between it. I don't know why, if that's true, if Stormy feels tension with me, because I said even at the reunion that Stormy was all that Love and Marriage Huntsville was about. You know, businesswoman, black woman, married, like doing the damn thing. Like, that's what we want on this show. So she wasn't sure why Stormy felt the way. And so then the mom interrupts and was just like, well, wait a minute. You know, you think that she has a problem with Stormy, or she might have a problem with me. And Nell was just like, well, I don't really know you, so I wouldn't have brought you up. Well, Stormy mama, Miss Betty, baby, we don't know you either. I was just like, Stormy, this was such a mistake. So, you know, the mom is starting to talk about what happened on social media, and then the mom and, you know, Miss Nell, who's trying to talk at the same time, you know, they going back and forth. Then Stormy gets in it and was just like, let my mom talk. And they was just like, no, you be quiet. And because they was quiet when you was talking, so let her talk. Well, Miss Nell ain't got nothing else to say. She just trying to figure out what the fuck wrong with y'all. So then the mom, what is the problem? The problem is the recording. They still staying on this. Somebody was in Mel's house recording this conversation where Mel is talking about she don't care who Martell is dating. Well, I know for a fact that that was an interview. So I'm just so confused, because why are we going with this? Like, is there another recording that they are not showing and they're showing this other thing? It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, because we clearly saw on the show that Destiny showed Martell what the damn interview was. So how did it become Stormy? You guys told me that no, it never was Stormy, and that the mom is just making a mountain out of a molehill, and the mom is just trying to be relevant, and the mom is just trying to be mad, and she just want to be on TV, and she just want to start the mess and all of that. That's what it looks like to me. That's why I told Stormy this was such a bad idea, because we know that it wasn't you. If there ever was somebody that was recording Mel in the house, it ain't the recording that we hear. So the mom was like, well, you know what, Mel, let me just tell you something. You know, I'm about to tell you this, now shut up. I was just like, I don't give a fuck if you don't like me, I don't like you. Like, you're not gonna talk to me as a grown-ass woman and tell me to shut up. Let me tell you how good Mel was when her mom was going there. That mom was trying to get a response out of Mel, and Mel, I know it probably took every fucking strength in her body to not go off on that lady like that. Okay? But she was not going to let Miss Betty have that moment. So what she said was, if I did say anything that offended you, I am sorry. Okay? And we just left it alone. And that shit was so great, because I was just like, thank you, Mel. Honey, Mel had a talk with herself this season. She was just like, bitch, y'all not fixing to get big off of me. That's what she do know. Okay? So that fact that she apologized to Miss Betty, that shit shut that completely down. Completely. Loved it. Okay, so what else we talking about? Okay, shout out to Cynthia Bailey. Well, Kiki says she got a problem that she wants to address, because she still got problems with Tiffany. Tiffany's still trying to figure out what she did. She don't understand what the fuck she did. She don't entertain no bullshit. Oh, I'm sorry, Mel. Mel was just like, no. Okay, you look very pretty in your dress. We're gonna stay very nice. Okay? This is a T, where you put your pinky finger up. You can't cuss a motherfucker out with your pinky in the air. Tiffany was just like, I don't know you, I don't entertain the bullshit, you know, and all this. And Kiki was like, oh, you don't know me, huh? Oh, bitch, you know me. You know, our kids played, like my kid played on your husband's baseball team. I mean, we used to talk to you, all of the family. I mean, you done met my mother-in-law, the kids. Like, you quit acting like you don't know who the hell I am. Okay? I guess Tiffany was saying she knows of her. Just because I've been sitting with you at the kids' baseball game don't mean that I know you. So, I mean, at least Tiffany had a point with that one. But while them two were going back and forth, you know what? Kiki threw in the real slick shot. At least I know who my daddy is. Very low blow. We already know Tiffany's daddy's situation. Kimmy was just like, well, damn. That shit was a low blow. That was a blow. She was, no. Kiki said that is not her intentions. That's not what she was trying. There's no way that you could say that comment and not say that it was being positive. There's no way, at least I know who my daddy is a statement that you can come off positively. So, you know, that argument is about to blow up. And of course, Miss Carol was like, okay, enough. We're not about to start that. And I was just like, yeah, Tiffany, because Kiki looked like she might fight you even with you pregnant. So yeah, let's not. So Mel interrupts, you know, Mel is just like, okay, we gonna acknowledge that was a dig that Kiki said to Tiffany, and you know, Kiki did apologize, or at least said that wasn't her intention. So we just gonna move forward, okay? Damn it, we having this tea. This supposed to be nice. We not having no fight at this event or nothing, okay? So this is what it is. We are human. Nobody here is perfect. Everybody has work to do, including herself. We all know that. But how about we thank everybody? Y'all thank Miss Carol for driving down there to Alabama and, you know, giving them some etiquette tips. So Mel is happy. You know what? She got gifts, like I said, for everybody. She was just like, oh, and Stormy, it's not a Gucci bag. Yeah. I'm enjoying Mel this season only because Mel is not fixing to get herself involved in that stuff no more. And it's funny, once you realize that people keep challenging Mel, you realize that they've used Mel in a lot of ways to further their own storyline. If Mel don't let them use her, what is the storyline to have? Right now, I can't tell you nobody's storyline. I guess Kimmy's, the fact that we see her coming out from the fog of cancer and treatment. I mean, I guess that's her storyline. And then, of course, we back to the parenting of Monster. But Letitia and them, what's the storyline? Getting the Black Business Expo together. Mel is dealing with Martell. I mean, fuck, some would say we right back to where we was at the beginning. Maybe. Maybe it'll work out. I mean, it was such a hit before. Maybe they can make it a hit again in a positive way. It's still a hit, but it's a negative hit, y'all. Anyway, that was it. What y'all thought about the episode? All right, you guys, that's it. Get on. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.